This used to be a pool, now it's a minnow pond. Keep the mosquitoes down. Nice.
Bat boxes are good for that too.
Uh-huh. Oh, this is the multimedia studio. I thought the last one was the... All right. Yeah, the models. Oh, what? This is...
We'll go around and I'll tell you what these are. One thing in this dome, the domes are really interesting acoustically. If somebody's talking over here and we're over here, it's like they're screaming to our ears. So we have to keep the noise down. If you want to talk, you can go outside. And don't touch the models if you could. Okay, good. Because it's a one of a kind and they're very hard to reproduce. So we can start here. Jacques didn't want to just talk about the future. He wanted to show what it could be like in lieu of not being able to build it, you know? So we made videos, and he used to, as I said, used to do special effects for Hollywood, so we made all these structures. He made all these structures, I just learned. And so we had these things moving and we shot them on crappy cameras because we couldn't afford them. So this was something I should have put it out of the house. A shape like this makes the canals, paints the canals, can change the shape, and then another shape like this, where the lasers come on after the shape is made and melts the sand into obsidian, the real hard like glass type of thing. No people know they were. Jacques also felt that we need to make houses or buildings in dry dock, just like ships. And then you fill the area with water, and this is a, and then it is the cheapest means of carrying bulk freight on water. I don't mean money, I mean energy. And so with 1 pound of hydraulics, you can move a ton of weight and make research centers or schools. And Jacques showed how this would go along and produce the curtain walls and everything. And he felt that you would bring in, I can do this without it falling apart, you can bring in saltwater canals on the land, and this would be black actually, and this machine would carry it. We had it moving in the footage, and it would drop it over the water.
Desalinization.
Desalinization.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Meaning
phenomenal.
that this would be, the sun would make it hot, and the water would evaporate, and it would catch the brine and the salt on the bottom. Jacques started, we'll go with the plans here. Jacques started his kind of technology quest by making airplanes when he was very, very young. Like he started with aircraft because he couldn't figure out how this heavier than air thing can float on this float, can fly on the air. So he made a lot of different models, all different varieties. He actually made a real plane structure in New York City on his rooftop, and he didn't have the money for the varnish, and it rained, and the whole thing twisted all up. But what he did is once he had a piece of balsa wood, and he dropped it by mistake, and it went forward. And so he made a plane based on that, a model plane when he was a kid. But he found out it didn't work too well, so he made the wings like an S, and it worked really well. And he brought it to a little model aircraft hobby place for the kids, and they all made the same thing. And Jacques made something very different and unusual, and they all ostracized him and said, "What's that?" They didn't ask him, "What are the flying characteristics? Does it fly?" So if Jacques didn't do a lot of aircraft and get reinforced and learn with the things that he did, he would have been pushed right into shape with the kids ostracizing him, like people do today. When you come out with new ideas, you know, it's very easy if you're insecure to get pushed into shape. So he went on and designed a lot of different things. He felt that the fuselage, where people lift. You put the passengers in the wing. This was his helicopter, which is very different. And we say if he went to aeronautical engineering school, his helicopters would look like everybody else's helicopters, but he didn't. He left school at 14. He went to the library, he went to museums to learn things. So the jets are on the outside. From here in, stays stationary, and the wings turn, and it goes up like this, and then it goes forward. This version does the same thing. It goes up like this, and then it locks into place like a delta wing, and it goes forward. And then it lands, spinning this way too. So he made all sorts of, you can see here, you know, this is a fairing. Sometimes the fuselage goes like that, and then the wing comes out like this.
At a 90.
Great abruption. But he took from sharks, are very feared, and they work very well for many, many centuries in their environment. So he took from sharks, and it's less aerodynamic, it's less wind resistance. So you can really see that with this plane. Look at the burn. Today, and a lot of people come to us and say, I've seen a house just like that. It looked nothing like that. Or a plane just like that. But today I've seen that China has made a plane that looks just like this. So it's a testament to a lot of Jacques' designs that they have come out either looking at his stuff or coming up with it. But Jacques was a multidisciplinarian. He worked in many different fields. He made cars and boats and planes and everything. He started with aircraft, so to work in a two-dimensional area was a lot easier. So he put a lot of things together. He wasn't just in one silo. He didn't just work making automobiles. So he could bring a lot of different experience to building and designing an automobile from a lot of different disciplines. So he came up with designs that were ahead of where people were because of that. And they're catching up to it now.
He made his own pigments for his canvas that he was painting with. He took all those experiences and turned them into colors, let's say. And now the other artist never seen that color before.
That's
wow.
Yeah. So he did a lot of mechanical things just to show in the future in the video that things will be done automatically. And this is where I was talking about how he did do a lot of things to show outer space for science fiction movies that he did. But as I mentioned, he didn't feel that we should be going into outer space till we learn how to work together here on Earth and get rid of the artificial boundaries, then go up as a joint venture. So you can see on all his things, it says cybernative JV, which is joint venture. Jack was already in the future. Space systems, joint venture, Earth monitoring system. But you don't see America Earth monitoring systems or France Earth monitoring systems.
No flags.
This Earth.
Yeah. So these were some of my learning drawings in terms of a industrial design style. This was a train that goes very quickly. Jacques would say 2,000 miles an hour. When you stop the train is when you lose a lot of energy. So the train would not stop. It could slow down to 100 miles an hour. And synchronously, this could drop and this could
That's so
pick up.
funny. I have designed a similar system to that.
without even
and
knowing.
it goes to your local destination. Yeah.
But the train actually works as the power generator for the city.
Oh, interesting. That's
I think
interesting.
it's a step.
Yeah. Anyway, this was, we tried to get in Florida International World's Fair going. It was too early for those things. Yeah. And this really would have been very futuristic when we tried to do that. This was a transport system for trains and then local cargo and people. And you could, it really protected animals.
Protect the greenways.
Underneath, yeah. So all of Jacques' buildings are curved because they're stronger, just like an egg, This is solar and very little materials. They have buildings like this now, since I've seen many. He did a lot with the dome, because you use the least amount of material to cover the most space. And once the skin is on, then you can take away the floors if you want to. You can take away the structural walls if you want to. You can do anything in there, and the structure is inherently strong.
This is great.
Yeah. Anyway, this is, I'm not going to pick that up because I don't know. This is a building he usually had in the middle. This is a hurricane structure he tried to get off the ground as a business. This is a turbine. When the wind blows, it generates electricity for lighting or refrigeration. The beds were in the wall, so they would be put up and you can use it for other things other than a hurricane shelter. The windows were aircraft windows, which are extremely strong. This is all embedded in concrete. The doors open this way instead of getting caught with the wind. And no hurricane or tornado is going to pick this up.
Be able to pick that up? No,
Yeah.
too slippery.
So, one thing that didn't get off the ground. We made these out of many different materials, whatever we could. We made the structure, and then we had this ceramically made. This is a double dome, which you'll see in the back. This is a triple dome. This is when I always say that Jacques reminds me, Jacques used to say, in the future, people will probably be bisexual or trisexual. They'll try anything. But Jacques was not like that. Anyway, this is usually done today, actually. And where I saw this was in Dubai, but with very ornate, superfluous waste, gold inlays and mosaics, but this was his bathroom. The water would come out in a slot, not this circle. So you use the least amount of water to cut the soap off your hands, and then the water is stored in the shower wall. And then you use that water to flush the toilet.
The gray one, yes.
So you don't tell people to flush every third piss or put a brick in your toilet, You build it into the system. Another example of that statement is Jacques always used to talk about how, you don't tell kids to do exercise. They poison themselves. They hate it. So you build you have a big lake in the city. And in the middle of the lake, you have a big, tall mountain. And at the top of the mountain is a craft shop where all the kids love to go. So they vigorously row, and they're happy to do it. They climb with great enthusiasm to the craft shop where they want to go. So you engineer the city, like we were talking about. Yes. In any way that enhances people's well-being. You know what I mean? If you take money out of the scenario, you're not abusing people. You want them to be the best they can so they can improve your lives in a way. Functional selfishness, as I mentioned. So there are many different designs, different colors. And this is a kitchen. I always like the round refrigerator. It's like you have a Lazy Susan.
Lazy Susan refrigerator.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
You have doors on each shelf, so you don't open the door and let all the cool out.
Just each stuff.
These shelves came down, but this is another prefabricated kitchen. You just put it in. But Jacques really didn't believe in kitchens in any apartment or any house. He felt in order to conserve resources and have more to go around, you have a main restaurant, many of them in the city. You can order whatever you want. It can be dumbwaitered to your house. You can sit and socialize, or you can be private in the place. And it's all, we used to talk about how the food would be automatically made. That's what we're starting to do today. So, it's like having an electric power plant outside of each home. Crazy. Every morning people make bacon and eggs at the same time. Why do that? Tremendous waste of energy. So you can come over here.
Me.
This just shows the history of aviation. When Jacques first worked in an aviation, in the industry of aviation, he one of the Wright brothers. The other one had died since then with, not in an airplane crash, as I thought it was, but, so when Jack died, we were sending probes to Mars and on the moon, and just in one generation, one lifetime, all that changed in the aviation field. It was quite amazing. So that's happening in every field. So this is a helicopter where the middle stays stationary and the wings go around and it's just firing sound. There's any problems. Much better than this when you put the structure in the middle of the wings and you turn this, then you have torque. Then you have another blade here that pulls it back so you fly like this, and then you put all sorts of computerized systems on it to make it fly straight. It's really cumbersome. So these are some of Jacques' aircraft. All these models we did them about 30 years ago, but they're really, he designed them, like, now you think about it, he designed them 60, 70, 80, 90 years ago. So these look like science fiction planes of today, but this says vertical takeoff and landing, cybernetic world air systems. Here's another one. Very slick. This one, Boeing just patented this design that Jack got long before Boeing patented it. But Boeing patented it on their long, cylindrical plane. But when a plane comes in, it doesn't have to rest. The engines don't have to rest. So this is the passenger section. When it comes in, passenger section's taken off and another one is put on immediately. So he always used to talk about how you look at everything and re-engineer it so it's efficient, uses less time, energy. So this was his car, which he built a couple of them. The bumper is all around because you don't just hit the front and the back. He was the first one to do the airbag, but his airbag was a membrane throughout the whole inside of the car. This was supposed to be 3 wheels, and the engine was in the wheel. And Toyota, I think, just patented the engine in the wheel not too long ago. So this was just to show kids that even if you wanted to have an accident in the future, you couldn't.
Oh, magnets. Yes.
So what else? These are sea domes where you could live on the water. If it starts to rain, this automatically closes like convertibles do today. They didn't when he did this. And if there's any weather that's detrimental, you can pull these on shore and stack them up. So this is the city. It's just conceptual. But you design 1/8 of the city with many, many different disciplines working together, and then you duplicate it. They wouldn't all look like this. It depends on what it's for and what location it's in. But on the outskirts, you can see that there's biking and hiking and horseback riding, whatever people want, or golf courses, which we were never interested in, but we put it in there, and solar and wind and other energy systems. And the example of the golf course is you go to the clubhouse, you check out the very best clubs, you use them, you bring them back, and they're kept in key shape. You don't have to own everybody owning golf clubs. Today in the free enterprise system, they want everybody to own golf clubs.
It's a waste of resource.
Yes.
It's just straight,
Yes, I
straight up
would say
money.
we're plundering the Earth's resources for profit. And, they make it wear out and break down after a certain amount of time. So that's the way everything would be. You see people carrying their golf clubs on aircraft today. And you don't need to do that. You don't need everybody owning their own golf clubs. Same thing with anything. And you want to make them the very best that you can because the whole city sponsors them. You don't want them to wear out and break down. You don't want to go to the golf club and get something that's terrible. So everything's done that way. So there's a waterway here to help keep rodents and bugs and other things out. and to service this is very small, it just represents the agriculture. It services the outdoor agriculture, the indoor agriculture, and the multi-decked agriculture, and this is research. And then there was a ring of high-rises. Everybody has the corner window when it's round. But Jacques always felt that people would want to live in like a total enclosure system where there is entertainment, there's medical care, there's school care, there's nurseries, there's restaurants, there's classrooms, anything that you want. But we do show that there are individual houses, and it's something like what's out here, where there's trees, and it's like you're immersed in a beautiful forest and gardens.
A farm.
And you can't see another house from here. And then these would be art centers, music centers, restaurants, fitness centers, and these are your research centers. One might be schooling as well. So if you work here, you could live here if you wanted to. These are your access centers, your art centers, music centers, anything you might want and learn in those centers as well. And in here is the brain and the nervous center of the whole city. And also your hospitals, so everybody's the nearest distance from the hospital. You know, today we're fighting people of different value systems. In the future, we would be fighting problems that are common to everybody, like heart disease, cystic fibrosis, mental health, other things like that.
Does it have a name?
The city?
Yeah.
No,
The
it doesn't
design?
have a name.
I was thinking, because it reminds me of
What?
the ancient city.
Oh.
You are.
Oh,
The round city.
yeah.
Yeah,
What,
I love it.
Atlantis? Is that what you're thinking?
You are.
I like it too because just you are. When you hear, you show up and you are.
And you are.
Oh. Now, was that real or
The
was that
first
a
round,
joke? Right?
round city.
I'm not familiar.
I think it's in
I'll look
Damascus.
I'm gonna look that up
it
too.
up. Interesting. Okay, good.
Love it.
Thanks.
He's tapping into ancient things, not just the future.
That's it.
Well, this is, you know, you can go around, it's the quickest distance to any place. You don't go and then backtrack,
Just
and
genius.
you design 1/8 and duplicate it, and then, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's efficient.
Almost. Well,
Yeah, I know. But that's
Yeah.
all that people know, because that's the only thing that people
Yeah.
have been shown,
Yeah.
is that type of technology.
that type of
Yeah.
turbine, yeah.
Good. Clean, so it's